going to take you guys on a journey. And this is a journey of mindfulness. It's a journey of self-discovery and a journey of awareness. And I'm sitting in this coffee shop with my 1.5-year-old daughter, Taylor, at the time. I'm in the corner table, drinking my green tea, and I'm just mesmerized watching her play. She's grabbing a book and she's running, jumping over the chair, climbing over to me, handing me the book, gunning right back, getting another toy, over the chair, running back to me. She has so much energy. And she's just moving. She's so happy. And I start to have these flashbacks in my head of when I was a kid and the movement of my life, right? And I grew up in a very active family. Every single weekend, my parents would take us on a bike ride on the prairie path from Elmhurst to Glen Ellen. I grew up in 2.5 acres, and gardening was what we did for days in and days out. My sisters and I would climb this hill in our backyard. We would run and chase each other. Like, we used to run hills for fun. Like, does that sound fun to anybody now? No, you don't want to do it. But as kids, that's what we did. We played kick the can with all the neighbors. You know, I could still smell chlorine from the YMCA when my parents would take us to go swimming and just run the tracks. Movement was life. We moved from the time we woke up in the morning until the time we went to bed at night. It was effortless. And then I became a teenager. And that momentum slowed way down for me. I had every excuse in the book not to work out. It was too hard. It hurt too bad. I was busy with my friends. I was going to the movies. There was a party happening. I just washed my hair and did makeup, and I didn't want to sweat and ruin it. You know, like, I had every excuse. I didn't want to work out. It created a really bad habit, though. It became easy not to move. It became easy to not care about what I put in and on my body. I started eating bad foods and just got lazier, and eventually it just turned into not moving at all. And then I became a young mother, a very young mother. The movement of motherhood is like no other. You hear me, right? It's survival movement. You have to move. I had no choice but to run after my daughter while she learned to crawl, walk, run away from me in the grocery store, ride her bike and run behind her, take her to the park and just climb up these slides. And I found myself climbing through these tubes constantly for hours and hours and hours. It was survival movement. I had no choice. But the movement wasn't mine, it was hers. So there was a difference there. And as I'm having these flashbacks, I'm staring right at this poster in this coffee shop. I can see it to this day. It's black, white, and red, and it says, adults only martial arts kickboxing. And it's a picture of this, talk about badass chicks. She was a badass chick, and she had her boxing gloves up, and she was staring dead at the camera, sweat dripping down her face. And I was like, dang, I need to be that girl. I want to be that. So I got the napkin on the table, pen out of my purse, jotted down the number, put it in my wallet, let Taylor finish playing, and we headed home. 1 week goes by. 2 weeks go by. There isn't a day that I don't think about that number in my wallet. And then I finally was like, enough is enough. I'm calling and getting more information. So I called the number, Tuesday nights, 7 to 8 p.m. I'm a young mom. I have nothing to do. All my friends are off to college, or they're going out with their friends. I'm home with a baby. I'm going to this class. Tuesday shows up. I show up. They hand me my kickboxing gloves. I go into the class, and halfway through this class, you guys, I'm dying. I'm sweating my ass off. I am trying to not throw up on this dojo floor, and I cannot breathe at all. I walk outside during our break, and I just stand there and just take this deep breath in. And I felt alive. It was the first time in years I felt alive. And this set me on this quest of signing up for every 5K race I possibly could, for every triathlon, for every half marathon. I even became the martial arts kickboxing instructor at that school, and later got my black belt in American Karate and Korean Taekwondo. Yeah, that's badass. You guys can totally clap for that. You know, and I thought by setting all these goals, by finishing all these, finish lines and doing all this, having the accomplishments, all these certificates in my back pocket, that it would somehow change my life, though. It would somehow fix the feelings that I was having, my failing marriage, my being a young mom, not knowing who I am or what I'm even doing. So my journey continued, and I became a bar instructor, and it was halfway through my yoga teacher training that I'm sitting on my yoga mat in this frog pose. And for those of you guys who don't know what a frog pose is, it's a huge hip opener. My knees are out wider than my mat. My feet are unnaturally turned out. My arms are lengthened out in front of me. My chest is just hovering above the mat, and my nose is physically pressing into it. It's 105 degrees in this room. It is dark, it is quiet, and you're alone with your thoughts. That is a scary thing. And as I'm sitting there, pain, this excruciating, aching, burning, pinching pain in my hips. It's all I can think about, it's all I can focus on. And then my mind starts going, and I'm like, where is she? Why is she not cueing it out of this pose? Why are we still in here? What the hell is she even doing? And I'm getting mad. Like, I'm Sicilian, I'm getting real mad on my yoga mat. And the pain just starts getting more and more. Start tensing and fighting it and resisting it. And then I feel a hand on my shoulder, and she whispers in my ear, let it go. And I think to myself, you let it go. Like, I'm not even sure I can walk out of here normal ever again in my life. Like, you let it go. And it gets worse. The pain keeps happening. The tears are just pouring down. I mean, the sweat is matching my tears, and I have a puddle right under my face on my mat. And then again, I hear, use your breath. Whatever you're holding on to, let it go. So I sat there, and I was like, all right, I can fight this all day. I don't know how much longer we're going to be in this pose, but I can fight it, or I can let it go. So I take a deep, intentional, mindful breath in, and I give myself permission to let it go. And right then and there, my hips melted towards my mat a little bit more. My knees even spread wider a little bit more. And the pain, it started to go away. And it was right then and there that I knew these tears were not from physical pain. These were emotional-driven tears. You see, I'm the strong one. I'm the tough one. I don't cry. I'm the shoulder you can cry on. I'm the person that buries my feelings, buries my emotions, bite my tongue, nod my head and smile, and in my head I'm, I'm that person. But these were years and years of emotions and trauma and failures and disappointments. 34 years old, 3 kids, 16 years married in a broken marriage, unhappy. That's what was coming out. That's where those tears were. And it was right then and there that I knew I was no longer going to let my body be a harbor for negativity. I was no longer going to store these emotions, feelings, traumatic events in my body. So I roll on my yoga mat, and I leave having a clearer vision of my future. I get to teach yoga. I get to teach something that we take for granted, that we do every single day of our lives. And I bet more than half of you never pay attention to it. It's your breathing. It's your breath. And what happens to our body when we're not intentional when we breathe, if we don't have mindful movement, what we're doing to our bodies. You find the connection between your mind and body. Because when you can clear your breath and clear your mind and then connect the two, that's when magic happens. You see, our bodies benefit from movement, but it's our minds that benefit from stillness. Power is turned on, healing begins. Our energies start to change and motivation begins to set in. Instead of sitting back and having those excuses, you step up to the plate and you show up for yourself. It changes. It becomes an addiction when you start moving mindfully and intentionally. Our emotions are released. I'm talking about those suppressed emotions that we store in our body that cause physical pain. That pain in your hips, the pain in your shoulders, the pain in the back, your pain in your legs. There's an emotional connection to it. But you don't move and free it and let it go, it's just going to keep getting harder and harder and more painful. Our cortisol levels decrease, which naturally lower your blood pressure. The result, you feel less stressed. You're less anxious in life. You don't fret the little things anymore. They don't matter. You pick your battles. You're more calm. You react differently. You rid your body of toxins through breath and physical movement, mindful movement. Do you guys know that 70% of your body's ability to cleanse itself is through your breath? And if you're not intentionally breathing, taking deep inhales and deep exhales throughout the day, your body has to work overtime to detox. And when we're not detoxing properly, that's when sickness happens, that's when disease happens. All you gotta do is breathe. The body achieves what the mind believes. So you find strength, you find stamina, you find flexibility and balance, both in your practice and off. You adapt to change, which is a constant. It's inevitable. It's happening. Nothing in life is permanent. Every single thing is temporary. And the more you fight the change, the more you resist the change, you get angry, you get bitter, you get mad. Why? It's the same amount of energy to let it go and hold on. The choice is ours. We all have that choice. We create an outlet to release endorphins. We send positive molecules and all this great stuff into our body by releasing these endorphins, the feel-good molecules. Because when you don't have an outlet to release these endorphins, that's when depression happens. That's when sadness sets into our life. Motion drives emotions. We become what we do repeatedly, whether that's sitting on the couch watching TV, eating a bag of chips, which I can be guilty for that once in a while, or you move. Every day, make it a part of your life. What we gain and lose through mindful movement, our energy levels start to pick up. Fatigue starts to go away. Cell rejuvenation starts, cell mutation ends. That means you guys are preventing cancer in your body. With each mindful breath you take, with each mindful movement you take, you are driving oxygen into your cells. Cancer cannot live in an oxygenated environment. Immune systems strengthen, disease starts to weaken. Mobility, muscle mass, and physical wellness all increase, while arthritis, joint pain, stiffness starts to decrease. Awareness happens. You guys, you become aware of your body, your worth. Your body is a temple. You honor it. You become aware of what you put in and on your body. The essential oils, the CBD oil, getting adjusted, it all matters. It's all part of this huge circle. You become aware. Because when we stop moving our bodies stop working properly. The pain of discipline in moving your body or the pain of cancer, heart disease, and early death, we all choose one. When I say the whole body, I'm talking about a whole body, the spiritual, physical, emotional. You can't have one without the other two. Move your body. Now, this is the yoga instructor coming out of me, right? Some of you all look all scared. And I wouldn't be a true yoga instructor if I didn't lead you all in a soft meditation. Little mind-body connection. And I know this is going outside of some of your comfort zones, and that's why we're here. So I invite you all to take your hands to heart center. Close your eyes. And bow your forehead down. And just start to become aware of your breath. As you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, allow your breath to soften your body. Allow your breath to reach the darkest spaces. Become aware of where you're holding on to tension, tightness, any grip. And send your breath directly to those areas. And without trying to control your breath and never judging it, just simply focus on the inhales and focus on the exhales. And when your mind starts to wander, you always have your breath. Relax your jaw, the tension you're holding on between your eyebrows. Let your shoulders melt away from your ears. Begin to lengthen those inhales and lengthen the exhales. Begin to feel the sense of peace and calm just pouring over you. And as you continue to create this even comfortable rhythm of your breath, begin to turn your senses on. Feel the heat between your fingertips. Feel that blood flowing between your veins and your heart beating. Cool air entering through your nose and your throat. Widening through your chest, let it open your heart. And as it pours deep into your belly, grateful for that breath. Taking in as much air as you possibly can, physically hearing it, physically feeling the space. Start to find balance in your thoughts as you connect your breath and body. Sense your own powerful presence here. Make each breath be healing, rejuvenating, satisfying. Allow your breath to soften you, not harden you. Allow your breath to send positivity into your body, the spiritual, physical, and emotional. I want you to breathe as though it was the last breath you're ever going to take. Would you linger on that inhale? Would you savor the exhale? Would you change anything about your breath? Continue to breathe here and focus on nothing but your breath. I want you to take this breath with you throughout the rest of your day today. You breathe before you react. Every movement is mindful. Every breath is intentional. Never taking anything in life for granted. And know that when you own your breath, no one can steal your peace. So take a loud inhale through the nose. As a big group, we're going to unify in our breath. And a loud open mouth exhale, let it go. Send that breath out, let go of all negativity, stress, tension. Namaste.